6 o'clock. Yeah, we can start in a couple of minutes. We got 22 people already. In the next 2-3 minutes, another 10 people might join. So thank you all for joining on time. Continue to do that in the future also. It helps a lot with our planning and with the delivery. So thank you. And make sure you tell your colleagues, because all of you are from same 15 colleges that are part of this program. So make sure you keep reminding them that they should come on time. And that's an important discipline that you need to make sure the students also have developed, right? Coming on time and leaving on time, very important. That's one of the professional skills that we need to impart to our students. And we have to do that by being role models, okay? So, all right, we'll just give another minute and I'll do my little intro for 2-3 minutes and then leave you alone, Meena, after that, okay? Yeah. Yeah, we still have about 15 people who are not yet showed up. So tell your colleagues, okay, all of you who are here, just remind your colleagues it's important to start on time. And okay, a few more people have joined. Vaishnavi, Sita Vani, Ravi. Okay, great. So I will get started. So I don't eat up any of Dr. Veena Kumar's time here. So welcome. This is again an important program so that we move towards all of you know the NEP guidelines, right? New Education Policy. A lot of times what we think, we are faculty members or in colleges, we think, okay, the guidelines are there. Somebody from AICTE, somebody from MHRD, somebody in the Vice Chancellor's office will tell us, we'll do all the things that need to be done, and we'll just wait. So that is wrong attitude. I think this has to be done from the top down and bottoms up as well. The guidelines have to be, we have to develop, implement them from the top down and bottoms up. So it is your responsibility, our responsibility at the faculty level to take the initiative. Don't wait for people, okay? Because if we wait, then all they'll do is talk, and nobody will do anything, okay? So we are responsible for these students, for the future generations, okay? So it's not just the leaders. So the three important guidelines that we are trying to address as part of this overall program. One is to give the students a holistic, multidisciplinary experience. That's very, very important. And very little of our content in the 4 years fits under the category. So we have to move bit by bit towards more and more holistic, multidisciplinary, which means that whether you're teaching math, physics, or chemistry, or electrical engineering, you will connect the disciplines and let students see the connections between those disciplines, interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary connections between those disciplines. That's a big responsibility for you. Because the first year, you are in different subjects and like ivory towers, okay, you don't connect other disciplines. So that is one side. The second guideline is to engage the students, student involvement, create the right atmosphere for students to develop themselves, both inside the classroom and outside the classroom. So make it, everything that you do has to be student centric. Don't just stand there and say, I'm a teacher, I've got this cane in my hand, I'm going to be strict master thing, and I'm just going to give lecture and go away. Those days are gone. We have to be friends, guides, just like we are friends and guides to our children. We have to be friends and guides inside the classroom, outside. That is the second important part of the NEP guideline. Okay. Now the third important part of the guideline has to do with you. Energized, dynamic, enthusiastic faculty. And that's what you are. You already have taken the first step to be that. Continue that. Don't give up your enthusiasm, energy, enthusiasm for this. So those are three important guidelines. And a lot of that has to do with changing how we teach. How we teach, okay? We have to change how we teach. And if anybody out there is trying to stop you from changing how you teach towards a more positive environment, just leave them alone. Don't try to get into debate with them. You do it. Even if a small percentage of faculty change how you teach, the students will benefit. If a student sees one good teacher out of 5, that student really benefits from it. So with that, I'm going to stop and let Veena do a job of helping you, change how you teach. Okay, thank you, Veena, and Jay.
Thank you, Krishna. Always very inspiring. It's lovely to have you. I cannot see any session starting well without Krishna being there. Thank you so much.
Thank you for doing all this.
Thank you, God. And I'm also going to switch off my video in a minute because then we want to okay. let me just go and switch off my video and we can just get back to our work. Okay. So here is the, today we are going to be working on the student. I'm so glad that Krishna chose this topic. So let me just start by saying a little bit about me. For me, unlike Krishna, I did not have many sort of familiar faces here. I'm currently teaching with University of Maryland Global Campus. Global Campus is a separate part of the University of Maryland, which is only exclusively online. And it's all over the world. It has three main sub-faculties, one in Japan, one in Germany, and one in America, the main one, of course. Before this, I was director of international program at Rutgers, the State University of New Jersey. I was there for about 10 years. And before that, I was at IIT Delhi, it's a Department of Humanities, and I was head education technology. And that's how I started with the engineering education very seriously. I've been very fortunate to have worked with a lot of international experience of working with the World Bank, European Union. We had some amazing projects, and I've trained faculty from all these different countries, okay? And I'm looking forward to doing that. And then I designed this International Engineering Educator Certification Program. We have to date about nearly slightly under 1,000 faculty from Indian colleges who have been certified. And the best part of that is this program is recognized by Egypt. Egypt is a, you may not have heard about Egypt, but it's a very prestigious organization like our IEEE, right? It's the IGIP translate, it's in German, but it's housed in Austria, but it means engineering, pedagogy and engineering. So they spell engineer with the I, right? So this is about me. Okay. Before we start anything, I want to just say if you have any technical issue, I don't know if you had any difficulty accessing Canvas. I want to congratulate you. About 27 people have already submitted their first task. I looked at it. I haven't commented on it yet because it takes a little bit of time. But I went through and I had just got familiar with many of you. And that was the whole idea. If you have any issues, please contact Sridhar. You've already seen how efficient Sridhar is. He is the technology guru for us and very, very helpful and a lovely, lovely human being. So just you can approach him anytime. He's always very helpful. And I would like to also repeat the request Krishna made. Many of your colleagues have not accepted the invitation. So it's not people in isolation. Like, for example, from your college, one person may not have accepted. So please take it upon you to request this person to accept the invitation. Unless they do that, they're missing out on many things because a lot of stuff I'm putting there. Okay. So let's see how this workshop will be delivered. So it's important for us to know. The main thing that how you have attended many, I'm sure you've attended many FPPs, and they're always focused on either one particular skill or a mixture of many skills, right? And the focus is how to do certain things in class and how to do this and how to do flipped class and how to do many, how to record a lecture, many how-tos are there. But I think what separates this workshop, the IUCE workshops from others, is also we go deeper into it and we say why you are doing this and how it can, because I feel that once you understand the basics, when you understand the theory behind it, your practice becomes sharpened and gets better, and you know why I'm doing it and why it is not working, right? Of course, this is a practical workshop, but we will be providing today's session particularly, there is some part of quite a bit of theory that I want to give with your participation. And so you need to know, you're engineers, you know that any technique, any technology is based on theory. You cannot have any practices which are successfully implemented unless you know why I'm doing and why it can fail, right? So we'll be using a lot of different tools. One of the main tools is the Canvas Classroom. Why? Because it's the host. We will be hosting all the readings there.
Dr. Kumar, are you sharing your slides?
Sorry,
Are you sharing something?
I'm sharing the slide.
No, we can't see it.
Oh, well, I wish you had told me. I'm already on slide 3. Wait, wait, wait. Oh gosh, what happened? Wait, wait, wait. Let me just get back here. Yeah, I was sharing the slide and it, oh, just 1 minute. Okay, let me just get back here. Okay, screen share. Okay. Oh,
Yes, now it is visible, madam.
now it's okay. Sorry, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. I was so sure it's me. Okay, so this was about me, and I was going to. I'm here. So I was saying, what are we going to be doing? We'll be working with the Canvas Classroom. If you have any questions about Canvas, you're not familiar with it, which I doubt. Everybody seemed, thanks to the COVID experience, we all are now pros in online teaching, and everybody has used many platforms. And even if you've not used Canvas right now, it will take only a few minutes. Please contact Mr. Sridhar. We'll be using a lot of polls because I want you to, in session 2, we'll be focusing mostly on student engagement, and polls is one of the most convenient and easy to use technology, quick and very informative. We'll also be using a chat box. I will also be using, we'll all be using WhatsApp as well for peer interaction, groups of 2 or 3. So I'll talk a little bit about it. I want you to, once from your own group that you already have your breakout groups. Those groups are made along with the discipline. Some names are missing because I did not have the discipline for those people and I didn't know where to put them. Okay. So if your name is not there, make sure you send me the discipline. A couple of people I even actually emailed saying that please send me your discipline, and I didn't hear. One person replied this morning. I mean, must have replied last night. I saw it this morning. And then of course we'll do breakout rooms are a little time consuming. So we will maybe do one breakout room activity every session, but mostly I'm going to depend on polls and questions. And then we are going to be taking breaks in between for me to take your questions. So when you have questions, just type them in the chat box and we'll be taking time to look at the chat box and respond to those questions. Okay. This is a very large group. We have, for your information, we have about 42 people in this, 43 people in this group, which is a very large group. I teach online in my regular classes, and
but only 30 people have shown up. That means the others are not taking it seriously. So all of you have to go back and chase your colleagues.
Okay. Okay, but I made the groups with the 40. I'm saying the groups will be a little larger than normally. We prefer 4 or 5, but your groups will be 7, 8, like that. Yeah. Please go back and tell, because these people, I don't think there's only one participant from any college. There are different participants from each college.
Two or three each.
Take it upon yourself, please, to tell them, because they'll miss out on many things, and then how do you say, the loop is not closed properly. Okay.
And by the way, I'm taking down names of everybody, the attendants. So I'll be yelling at them and sending letters to your principals and directors that people have not attended. Okay. I've just not taken down names of everybody who's attending today. Okay, go ahead, Veena.
Thank you, Krishna. But on the other hand, I'm very impressed. There are 27 people I had given them a small task of uploading a 2-minute audio, whatever. And 27 people have already done that from this batch, and I'm very, very impressed. So that's the best part of the thing. I've also created a thread in your Canvas classroom, your questions. So many times when we are doing some task, or we are reviewing, or we have general questions, just post your question there. The reason is, when you post a question there, and I will try and respond it within 24 hours. That's my policy always. Other people will benefit. What happens is, many times, excuse me, many times, many people have similar questions in mind, but they're hesitant to ask because they think, well, maybe I'm the only one who doesn't understand this. Okay. Then we'll have follow-up tasks for each session. Okay. You've already seen one. These follow-up tasks are related to what we'll be doing, and they're your practice kind of session. You know, when we do face-to-face workshops, they're slightly different. But we try to, we've done a lot of these workshops, and they're pretty successful. And of course, it depends on you how much you want to take home from it, right? So the follow-up task will have, you will see some marks there, like 10 marks, 5 marks. You're not being evaluated. The reason I have to give some marks is because I cannot create the grade book, right? So to create the grade book, I need to put this, but these, I mean, it is also a tag which says will not be counted, but you need to do these tasks, okay? So for example, the task 1 you have done is very important. We'll be talking about it, and I'm going to go into detail about it on session 2 or session 3, maybe session 2, I think. Okay, so I hope you have some idea of what we are going to be doing. So the objective of the workshop is to provide control over 4 key areas. Student needs. I mean, I'm so glad the title of this workshop is Student-Centered Teaching. Student-centered teaching has become more like a cliche. People just use it all the time. They don't really understand the student-centered, which means that you are not really the focal point. The focal point is the student, okay? Tomorrow, the next session, we'll be talking about effective course delivery. Today, we'll be talking about a couple of very important things, you know, especially you will be teaching first year, and first year students have a lot more diverse needs than if you're teaching a 4th year class or 3rd year class, you know. We'll also be talking about student motivation, and then of course session 4 will be on assessment. The assessment is the biggest tool for student motivation or demotivation. So we are going to approach it from that angle, right? So this is all about students, and how you can teach, how you can align your teaching to the student needs. Okay, they're both their academic and their emotional needs. Okay. Okay, my personal goal, my personal mission is to give you a program that will ensure growth, very important for me. And the growth, as you see, happens from inside. It doesn't happen from tricks and trades. So, okay, I can tell you do this, do that. That's wonderful. That's important. But that growth happens only when you know why I'm doing it, and how, if I don't do it this way, this is what is going to happen. And empowerment, as Krishna mentioned, don't wait for people, take it upon yourself. But you cannot be empowered unless you have confidence. So my particular mission in this 4-day workshop is to provide you information, input that will strengthen you from inside, give you the confidence to go, okay, I know how to do it, and I will do it, right? So this is my mission. I hope I'll be 100% successful, but then it's up to you also to cooperate and work together. Okay, so this is our mission. Okay, so the teaching, learning, the student-centered, this is a I'm very fond of this little graphic that I created. You are the main conductor of the orchestra, of the whole piece. And we need to mainly work with the learner, the process, the environment. The environment here is also the content, the way you create your classroom, and make sure that achievement happens, you know. So today we are going to start with the teaching learning process. Okay, all 4 of these will be taken care of. Okay, So this is our famous slogan of IUCEE slogan, says, I'm teaching, are they learning? And that is what is to be ensured, right? So somehow we are very focused on, uh, we are very focused on my course content. Okay, oh, I'm running behind. I've not finished my course content. The content is extremely important, of course, but that can be managed in a way. I think if you can get the students going, motivated, excited, half the battle is won. There's so much that they can do by themselves. Okay, so we'll talk about that in session 3 as to how we can delegate and how we can depend on their own initiative. And again, as Krishna said, don't wait for instructions, just take it upon yourself to do it. That kind of autonomy we need to give to the students as well, because many times they will do a better job than what we are doing. Exactly like you may take it upon yourself and you may do a much better job than what the instructions are coming. Instructions are guidelines, but you know the system better, right? Okay, so we're going to start with poll 1. Sridhar, I need to know something about you. Okay, I need to know a little more about you. Very quick polls. Sridhar, can you flash poll 1, please? Okay, go ahead. Please quickly, we have a lot to do. So quickly respond. We have only 33% voted. Attendees are now viewing the question. Okay, go ahead. We need all 100% of you to respond. Oh, so 100%, no, yeah. Oh, we just flashed the first poll. I think they are answering the second poll as well, Sridhar. Okay. Okay, so we are just going to focus, right, because the other polls will come later on. So we have 6%, I'm taking note, of people 1 to 2 years, 11%, 3 to 5, 39%, 6 to 10, and we have 44% people who have 10 plus years of experience. Very experienced people, I see. Thank you very much. I think we can do with the poll. I have another one now. The second, sorry, I have another poll, and that was the second one already showing. What is your exposure to teaching first year students? This is very important also, because teaching first year students is a totally different approach that is required. Sorry. So please answer the second poll as well. There are only 3 choices here. This is the first time I'll be teaching first year students. This is the second time I'll be teaching. I normally teach first year students. Oh, is that 100%? No, forget about the first poll. Please answer the second one. What is your exposure to teaching first year students? 100%. Is that the right answer? Okay. No, we're changing. Okay, thank you. So we have 85% people who are normally teaching first year, and we have 7% who are teaching for the first time. Okay, thank you. So we do have 7% people who are teaching for the first time, the first year students, and then 14% also maybe just the second time. And now we have a very large percentage of people who are experienced first year instructors. And so they can be the guide and we can good feedback for this workshop. So we can work together on that one, right? Good. Okay, before we go any further, I want you to just do this little quiz here. Sorry, you may be thinking we came here to listen. Now we are being made to work. This is how this workshop will be. We try to do. Okay, this is a private exercise. You listen, read carefully. And this is designed for honest, critical self-evaluation. So I was taking stock. Taking stock means where am I today? What is my starting point, right? Carefully think about each of the following questions and give yourself a grade from 1 to 3, 3 being the best. I'm going to give you 6 minutes for this because I want you to think very carefully. Please prepare your response and post it in Canvas Classroom under taking stock. I've created a little assignment. Why? Because we know, first of all, if we start discussing now, it will take a lot of time. This I can view privately, and then your information is private. Nobody can access your response except me and you. What you will do is you put your name, your total score, because there are 9 questions, 27, and numbers of the lowest scoring item. And so the example I've given is Veena Kumar. This is my score. And these are the 2 items, 1 or 2 items that have the lowest score. So here is the quiz. And your time starts now, okay? You have 6 minutes. Okay, 3 being the highest score, the best. And remember, the focus, you're not being graded for it. It is your own introspection. I want you to be very honest, candid. Nobody's going to know. You're not being evaluated by anything. I think you may not be able to see the last one. It says, I always complete my course on time. Okay. Okay.
Ma'am, I am not getting the quiz in the canvas. Actually, both the tasks is having the same set of questionnaires.
Ma'am, even I'm also not getting the questions. So I'm
Same
just
here,
struggling to
ma'am.
get yeah.
I'm also not getting the questions.
Yes, madam.
The same set of questions are there for the learning style, as well as these questions are not in the second task. Hello.
Yes. Hi.
Hello, ma'am. Both the tasks are having the same set of questions.
Sorry, which one?
These questions are not in the canvas in the task 2. Both
No,
the
no,
tasks.
task 2 is different. Task 2 is different. But you will find under taking stock in Canvas, I have, there is another, under readings. Under readings, you have this quiz again, but you do it now. You do it now. Because I want you to think about these issues. Task 2 is different.
Taking stock.
Yes, taking stock. Taking stock means I want to know where am I? What is my resource right now? How am I doing now? Evaluation. Evaluation is a very strong word, but taking stock means I just want to know where I stand right now.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I have done it and I went to the canvas, but I'm not able to put my name and the details. I
No,
went
you
to
will
the
have to
taking
accept.
stock.
You have to take the, no, don't put it right now. You can put it later on. You can just keep the score now. You can put it later.
Yeah,
on.
I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, you can put the score later on. You don't have to do now. I'm not going to check right now.
Okay, okay. But
Okay.
it will
Okay.
be enabled to write there. Now it is not enabled.
Okay, let me check. Let me check why it's not. It should be. Okay. Let me check. It's published.
I went to home. In home, I can see that taking stock is there. When I clicked on that, it says that in session 1, June 7th, 2021, number 1, your name, 2, 3, the quiz placed under readings for your review. Thanks. Then there are 2 buttons, previous and next.
Okay.
When we are clicking
No,
the
no,
next.
no, you don't. Okay, you have to, okay. Okay, I'll set it right. I'll set it right. Maybe you have to move it to the assignment, make it in a different way. Okay, but keep the score right now and you can upload it after the thing is over. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Veena.
Okay, thank you. Everyone, please note that thank you for bringing this up. Good, thank you. Don't try to post it right now. Just keep the score and we are, the time is up already. Sorry, we started talking.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So I hope everybody has thought about these 9 questions carefully, given a score and found out the weakest 2 areas in which they have to be working on. Okay. Okay. So we are going to, today our focus is going to be on 2 things, learning and students. Okay. So, I love this quote by Kierkegaard, which says, instruction begins when you, the teacher, learn from the learner. Put yourself in his place so that you may understand what he learns and the way he understands it. This is what we are going to be focusing on, the learning process. So here's a quiz 3, poll 3. Sridhar, can you flash the poll 3, please?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Actually, I was not able to join in the beginning due to some connectivity issue. Therefore, I'm not able to understand what is being told yet. There's something related to score and all. I'm not able to get that.
Okay, you're from which college? Can you connect with your friend, with your colleague and do that, do the exercise? That is why I posted the exercise in Canvas as well. You can do that
Okay.
exercise in Canvas and post your score afterwards. Okay,
Okay.
no problem.
And now something is there on the screen.
Can you do the poll? You need to
Okay.
respond.
And now how we have to do that? I just wanted to know about this because as I told you, I was late to join.
Sridhar, can you explain to her how she can, I think it's a poll that you need to just take 1, 2, or 3. Choose, have you made any effort to study major theories of learning? There's 9% never, 8% have heard about them, 44% have spent a lot of time studying them, 48%.
Okay.
So are you 1, 2, or 3? You have to pick one choice.
Okay. And after picking the choice, we have to click on it and then submit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is, may I know your name, please? I didn't miss your name.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Manisha Duseja from DIT University.
Okay, Manisha. So Manisha, this is I'm also demonstrating through. This is a very simple and very effective technique for your class, the polls. Okay, it takes a couple of minutes and you get a lot of information. Okay, we'll talk about these again and also some technology that you can use. Okay, so I have 7% never attempted to study them, 39 also in the same category, and then we have 54% who have done a lot of work on learning theories. Okay. One thing you have to be very clear about, that all these polls and all, nobody is evaluating anybody. The first requirement we have of the IFC FTPs is honesty, and you have your response is for yourself. The response is not for anyone. Nobody is evaluating that. Okay. Now, thank you. So let's go to the major question here, how learning happens. Okay. So it's very interesting. I'm so happy to see that 54% people, at least half the group, has been thinking about this, how learning happens, and they have made the effort to study some theories. But it's very strange that very often we are now in the business of teaching. You know, it's like being a doctor and not having full control, full knowledge about the human anatomy. You know, so you really can't do full justice. We are in the business of teaching. And if we are in the business of teaching, we need to know how people learn, so that we can align our style of teaching to how they learn, right? So as you can see, learning happens in three main ways as far as students are concerned. There is individual learning, there's peer learning, small groups, 2, 3, and there is large group learning. So individual learning, peer learning, large learning. First of all, when you have your course, most of it is in this way we deliver, right? Now, in this way, you have 60 people in your class. You do not know who's learning what. This is assignments. We try to do assignments, but this part is somehow neglected. So we are very good with this. We are very good with this because we have tests, quizzes, and assignments. But this part is totally or somewhat neglected. Only very recently now, people are trying to pay attention to this, right? But this is This is the key to all learning. So we'll see how learning. I want to take you through some research landmarks about learning, and then I want to focus on brain-based learning. So right from 400 BC, the question rose how human beings learn. Then John Locke, he said, children are like a blank slate, whatever you give them, but make sure that what you tell them is matched with the experience. B.F. Skinner is really known to be the father of formal education. He said small steps, experimentation. He's the one who did that famous experiment with the mouse coming out at time and eating the cheese. So he says the drill can improve learning. Vygotsky is one of the important, can you see the date? Vygotsky was the first person to say there is a social aspect to learning. That means people learn a lot when they are with their student. They learn from each other much more than they can learn from you. So but see that, it's early 19th century, but it's kind of neglected. Nobody paid any attention to it. Jean Piaget is a very big name in the educational. Unfortunately, somehow the enormous body of research has never been used by university faculty. It's very sad. Most of the time, it's the school teachers who are very well versed with all these things because they have a full formal education for becoming a teacher, right? And that is missing here for us as university faculty. We are hired on the basis of research, what we have done, what are my grades, what have I published, right? Not on what is my teaching record, right? Now, Jean Piaget, as I said, is a Swiss educationist, extremely important. Jean Piaget's theory was that knowledge cannot be transferred. It needs to be reconstructed. Listen to that very carefully. What are we doing in a large class? We are trying to do blah, 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 and we are thinking that what I'm saying, they are understanding. So Jean Piaget negates that. And look at the dates again, very, very early. I mean, we're talking about 100 years, more than 100 years ago. He said knowledge cannot be transferred. It needs to be reconstructed. You need to give the opportunity to students to reconstruct the knowledge you're providing, okay? Miller, again, has a lot of important information about how the human factor in learning. Maslow, I'm sure many of you have heard about him, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow says human beings learn when they need to learn. So we need to create the need in the students to learn. Half the time, the students don't know why they are in this class. What are they? Why? Okay, I'm learning this concept. Where is this concept? Why am I learning this concept? Why am I doing that? Excuse me. And that is the biggest, excuse me. That is the biggest difference in learning amongst children and learning amongst adults. Our students are adults. Children don't ask this question. The teacher says, okay, memorize Jack and Jill went up the hill tomorrow, and we are going to recite. So everybody, they don't say, why am I learning Jack and Jill went up the hill? I mean, I have nothing to do with all this, right? But adult will ask that question. So adults learn by need. So we need to create the need. We'll talk a lot about all these. I'm going to weave in all these theories. That's why I want you to get an idea about it. The 54% people who have studied a lot about theories, I'm sure are a little more familiar, but you have to do now this. Harvard is a person who talked about multiple intelligences. And he said that, remember before this time, he is still alive. And he's it's the 20th century, the very, very 20th century theory, which says that IQ is not the only test for intelligence. Human beings have many different intelligences. And guess what is the most complex task? Who is the most intelligent person? Can be a scientist, can be a technologist, but the mapping of the brain and the learning challenge, you know who has the most complex task? An orchestra conductor. When I say orchestra conductor, I mean a philharmonic orchestra with 130 plus instruments, and the conductor knows exactly at what time this instrument is going to come up, and that is supposed to be, has been found, I mean, has been acknowledged as being the most complex task that humans can do. So he talks about people who are musicians, people who are sports people. There are different intelligences. And then we come to the very recent, the Rene family, they about the brain-based learning. I'm going to talk a little bit more about. Eric Jensen is very important because he translated what the neuroscientists tell us about how brain learns into education practices, okay? So these are the main highlights that I wanted to share with you, starting from a very bland question of how human beings. By the way, Pluto, you know, established the first higher education academy in at that time in Greece. You know, he actually established the university concept. Okay. So if you have any questions, there will be question time for us to interact. Now, this is a typical scenario of what's happening in a large class. You have information here, which you are trying to give it to this 60 people, right? And you take it for granted that, okay, whatever I'm saying is just being understood. And if it is not being understood, I am upset. I keep asking, understood? And the students, like, they shake their head. Some of them don't, you know, respond. They don't say anything. So are we being very reasonable when we ask how the new knowledge is going to, are they accepting all these new knowledge? Now here, I need to explain something to you. All these brains that you see here have their own knowledge, the cognitive map. Every brain, I don't know, sorry. So this is your cognitive brain with all the new knowledge about your course, right? These people have some knowledge, some kind of knowledge, because the background knowledge, information, this, that, and that. Each cognitive map is different. 60 people have 60 different cognitive maps, right? They have learned something, somebody remembers it, somebody doesn't remember it, and the cognitive map is not only just academic, it is all things like that, you know, like, okay, you should be careful, or people are out to cheat you. Some people say, no, people are good, etc. Whatever, all the other values that we have gathered from our parental instruction, from our experiences, from our school experiences, they're all here. They form a cognitive map. Now you are sending a new information which needs to get into in their cognitive map. What you need to do is to create a hook. You need to create a hook so that the new information can be hooked onto each of the cognitive maps. And we don't bother about these things. We just take it for granted that I am doing blah, 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 and everybody's understanding. And if they don't understand, I am blaming them for not understanding, right? So this is what you have to first understand from the inside story. The inside story is that you are giving all the new information. It is not getting hooked to the cognitive map, right? So what research in neurosciences tells us? So the big revolution in education came in the 1980s, 90s, and it's still coming. still coming. And it's coming through the neurosciences. The neuroscientists tell us how brain learns, right? They have a very detailed map about how brain learns. And these are some of the key findings. Learning happens when brain creates new neural connection. These are the neural connections, right? So every time you have a new information, you have new connections developing in your brain, okay? Active learning promotes creation of new neural connection and retention of long-term memory. Active learning, this word we'll be using a lot. What is active learning? Active learning is when students are doing something. They're not passively listening, they are doing, okay? So active learning means they are maybe answering a question, maybe just like did the poll. We did a lot of active learning in the beginning, right? Because you were doing it. And now we are not doing it. Now it's the passive form, but hopefully it will work. But basically, if I were to stop and ask you to do an exercise here, that would be active learning. Okay, remember, this is the key part. Active learning promotes creation of new networks, and it also impacts the long-term memory. Brain processes information in small chunks. You'll be surprised that Vygotsky, who talked about social aspect of education, also talked about the information should be provided in small chunks. And what is the progressive research? That these number of these chunks is getting smaller and smaller because the attention span, this is related to the attention span, okay, of the student. We'll talk a lot about the attention span. Then neuroscientists tell us repetition enhances long-term memory. So remember when we were little kids, if they don't do that in the US, that's why they have to always use a calculator. But in India, the table, I still remember my table of 17, table of 18. I don't take time. I don't have to look at the calculator and do it because it was drilled into our heads, right? So some kind of, and I want to point out here that we always do to kind of rote memory. We say, no, it's bad. Rote memory has a very big role in learning also. Remember that. Not everything rote. When we say rote memory, we have misinterpreting it. We think when we say, okay, in schools, people give 5 questions and students mug up. Mugging is different from rote memory. So they mug up the answers to these 5 questions, and then these 5 questions come in the exam and they pass and they get good grades, right? That is not. Repetition is rote memory. We repeat something, okay? And the same thing Skinner said, that if you repeat the same action, I want to, I think you may have read, 54% people who have read the theories, he did for the others, for the benefit of the others, Skinner, let me just go back to the picture. Skinner, he did this major experiment that what he did was he had a mouse in a cage and he had a bell, and at exactly 12 noon, the bell would ring and he would put a piece of cheese for the mouse to come and eat. And after some time, as soon as the bell rang, the mouse came out, but looking for the cheese, right? And the last part of the experiment was he took away the bell exactly at 12. He can't see the clock, but exactly at 12, the mouse came out looking for the cheese. So repetition, it enhances your long-term memory. And so this is very, very important. What is very important again here for me is emotion strengthen memory. It's very, very important. And today's session will have a lot of focus on emotions, something that is we totally disregard. I am so worried about my course. Okay, I find examples, I find pictures, I find simulations and all that. But I'm not really concerned about how students are feeling in my class. What is the atmosphere in my class? What is the environment in my class? Okay. Okay. So our brains are programmed to focus on new and unusual input. Very interesting. So try to, the surprise part of it, the surprise part of it. If many times we get into a pattern and we say, exactly my class runs on a certain pattern, right? And it gets very boring after. So if it's like you go home and every time you know what's for lunch, right? Your mom, you know, there's going to be this, there's going to be this, there's no surprise. Oh, today mom made pizza. How? What a wonderful, great, joy. So new things, to the extent when those of you who are doing research in engineering education, there is a scientist called Hawthorne. Hawthorne's effect is, Hawthorne says when you do research and you're experimenting on some new technology, take into account that the newness of, just the newness of the strategy is going to enhance 5% motivation of the students. Okay, doing something new, doing something different. So we will learn how we can add the surprise element to our teaching, right? Social interaction promotes learning. All this is not, see, all this was already said by the educationists, but is now confirmed by brain-based learning. Okay. And these are the people who did a lot of research on brain-based learning. Learners must be immersed in complex interactive experiences. And also human beings, Skinner also said that your content should be, okay, this is an important point, and I'll repeat again in session 3. We always say, gear your lecture to the average class, average student in the class. Okay, no, the scientists say, gear your lecture to average +1. Not too complex, but little higher. Challenge them, little higher. If you think, you know, again, we'll talk a lot about this whole strategy about how you design your lecture, okay? Challenges stimulate a student's mind to the desired state of alertness. So challenge alerts the mind, and when you're alert, you learn. Intensive analysis of different ways to approach a problem must be presented to promote insight. So it's not just one solid answer, one standard answer. It's how, particularly engineering, how problem can be solved in many different ways. Okay. And exactly that's what Krishna was saying. Don't wait for the standard guidelines. You can just go and take some initiative yourself, right? Okay. After this, I've given slot for questions. So please put your questions in the chat box if you have any questions related to what we are saying. Am I going too fast? I want a quick response. Am I going too fast or the pace is okay?
No, ma'am, that's fine.
Okay,
It's
ma'am.
fine, ma'am.
Fine, ma'am.
Perfect pace.
Okay. So, okay, good.
Okay, ma'am.
So the other part of learning that we need to learn is the domains and levels of learning. Okay. So we first looked at the different theories, what people have been saying. So, and they're all relevant for us. Let me tell you that the body of research in education is maybe enormous, absolutely enormous. I've only picked certain things that are relevant, directly relevant to us. Okay. So domains and levels of learning. Domains of learning, there are 3 domains of learning: cognitive, psychomotor, and affective. And all 3 are very important. Cognitive is related to thinking. Okay. Psychomotor is physical, what we do with hands-on, your labs. Affective is something which we never pay much attention to, is feelings, preferences, values. Affective domain is very important. You know, when you have in your family, you have your young child or your little brother, sister come to you and they say, oh, I hate biology. I hate mathematics. You know, you hear this all the time. Why? It's because it doesn't make him feel good. It's very clear that the student hasn't done well in the test, or your child hasn't done well, or the child doesn't like the teacher. So that's why he hates biology, you know. So that is where all this affected. And once he hates biology, he's not going to do well in it anyway, right? So affective domain, we normally neglect it, is very, very important. And this, of course, everybody knows. So let me go back a little bit. Each of these domains, actually, Bloom was involved in all of these three domains, and he actually developed the taxonomy for each of these three, right? But we are generally interested in the cognitive domain, remembering, understanding, applying, and I'm talking about the revised thing, was revised in 2001. The original one is from 1953, which is slightly different. But he did, Bloom actually, and Cotwal, Krathwohl, they had the taxonomies for all of them. I don't want you to learn them. I just want you to know that these are not in isolation. What we are focusing is only on cognitive taxonomy, but each of these have taxonomies of their own, right? Okay. So here's the poll, fourth poll. Enough of blah, blah. So I want you to, how confident are you about Bloom's taxonomy of cognitive level? Excellent at all levels, fairly good at all levels, confused about some levels, unclear about all levels. Okay. I'm taking note of all this. Let's finish and then I will. We know the names and we have some general idea, but I'm talking about applying. How confident you are in applying the Bloom's taxonomy, just not the knowledge. I want you to know how good you are for applying. So we have 10% excellent, 57% fairly good, 27% confused at some levels, and 6% unclear about levels. Good, 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 good. We'll talk about all this. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So it's become 10%, 58, 58, and 26. Okay. Thank you. Okay. This has made life a little easier. Okay. Once you have for, let's say, for outcomes and for assessment. Okay. Now I'm going to just stop here if you have any questions. Or if you want to discuss something, you want to make a comment. We have 2 minutes. I've scheduled 2 minutes for this.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, please go on. Yeah.
Yes, Madam has discussed many things, but I did one course on the Coursera, Learn How to Learn, and I found it is a very best course for the teacher doing how to chunk the problems and related to all that. Madam will give the more emphasis on this in the maybe in the future also.
Yes, learn how to. Yeah, that I think put that link. Can you put that link in Canvas so that everybody can take advantage of that?
Yes,
we are
yes,
here
I can
to
put
share
that.
knowledge. Yeah. So basically, I find you know, I joined IIT. I have my PhD from Paris, and I came and I worked in London for, at that time, the education technology was just being born. I'm talking about 1980s, mid 80s, 1980s. And I was involved in a very important project, which was for the European Union. And we were developing CDs at that time. That is the time. And then I was hired by IIT Delhi because they were opening the education technology department, and it was a new discipline, so nobody knew anything about it. So we did a lot of training, but I always felt that this component, because everybody is very intelligent, you can tell them do this, do that, doesn't work. I need to know why. I need to know. So can you please give your name? Can you put that link in Canvas? What the course that you
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I will sure put on.
Okay, so that everybody can wonderful. Any other comments? Did you find this useful? The learning about how people learn?
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
We know that we are focusing mostly on the cognitive domain normally.
Yeah.
Even though we know that affective domain is very important. So how do we handle this, or how to keep it in mind and consider it?
What's your name? What's your name?
Swarna.
Swarna, wonderful question. I'm going to be spending a lot of time on this. Not now, but the strategies will come later on. Definitely.
Okay, thanks, Bina.
I will respond to this. Yes.
Thanks.
Anybody else?
Hello, madam.
Yes, go ahead.
This is Dr. Sunil Yadav from RIT.
Yes.
My
Hi.
question is how to balance between the three cognitive domains while actually delivering the lecture.
A very good question. I think this you will be. I'm writing down all these questions, and you know what? Toward in session 4, we'll again stop and review whether all these questions have been responded to during the workshop. How to balance the three? There is no question of all three are independent, and they're equally important. Psychomotor is when you're making them do something. That is a part of the active learning, and emotional has to be there all the time, and cognitive. All of them are important. It's not. I think when we talk about how to design your lecture, how to do the activities, Dr. Reddy, all these will fall in balance. You will see that. So there is no specific thing that, okay, we will give you a specific kind of a plan for the lecture where all these are important. So this will also be taken care of.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Okay, so let's go. Good. Please keep doing that and keep posting your questions as they come to your mind. Okay. Okay, so now we come to the second part of our concern today, is how well do we know our students? And what does the word millennial mean? Can anybody answer? Unmute yourself and answer, please.
Any student who's born after 2000.
Yeah, sorry, I heard some good answer.
Yeah, any student who's born after 2000, year 2000.
2000, yeah. 2000 for India, yes. Normally it's in 1990s. Yes, millennial are students who are born. Many of you may be millennials yourselves also. Yes. And so what is the same? My second part of the question to the same responder is, why they are different?
I can't actually give a straight answer. It's maybe because how their thought process works as compared to a person before the technology revolution. I would say before internet had come into being or become a mainstream part of the mainstream.
Exactly, that is what it is. The digital. This is the before digital era, and before the invention of the internet. So millennials are born with the internet.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Born with a mobile phone. Comment on this. Me being born in 1996, myself, I am a millennial in one or the other way.
You are a millennial.
Yes. So people born before me are not exposed to internet or any other word where they are stick to what they learn. But people after millennials have exposed to so much that they can learn everything on the fingertip now. So
Exactly. Exactly. So when we are teaching millennials, we need to adjust. So what happens generally is that we are following the pattern of how our teachers taught us, right? Generally, that's normal psychology. My professor taught me like this, so I'm teaching like this, but it does not work with the students. So when we say that they are always fidgeting with their cell phone, when they are not paying attention, is it their fault? It's not their fault. It is the way they are wired, as we use the word in America, the way they are, the way they learn. Okay, good, wonderful. Okay. So now the millennial born 1980, we are going in the US, they call it in 1980s, 90s are known as millennials. Intensive research, they're also known as Generation Next, Generation Y, digital learners. And now we are talking about Generation Z. Who is Generation Z? Anybody?
Anyone after 2010?
Yes.
Again, just a guess.
Perfect. And what is what is important about 2010? 90s and 20 were in the age of internet, and 2010
social media, ma'am.
Yes,
Facebook
wonderful. That is the era of social media. So that still makes a very big difference. That made a very big difference. So now educations feel that their changed learning needs warrant accommodations in teaching strategies. So we remember always that my students are not, your students, first year students are going to be Generation Z. Can I exploit the social media for incorporating some things in my teaching, how, etc. Hopefully we'll have time to talk about that. So once we have a good idea about our, okay, we'll just do this. See, okay, I want to do the breakout. Let me just, so we are going to be doing now a breakout room activity. And I want you to, let me just go back here, sorry. Okay, so this is what research says. Research says that personality traits of millennial learners are affinity with technology. They're used to a lot of attention from parents and family, and therefore they expect some attention, a lot of attention. They get used to a lot of attention, and they want that from the teachers as well. They work best in relaxed environment. They enjoy social interaction. They enjoy researching information. They enjoy autonomy. Autonomy means freedom, independence. Autonomy is a little different from freedom. Autonomy is related to decision making. Okay, they have a very short attention span. Okay, so these are some of the personality traits that the researchers have found. Now, in the breakout room activity, what we want to do is join the room you have been assigned. Check your group on the chat. I don't know if we need to put it on the chat box, Sridhar. Check your group in the, okay, once in classroom begin discussing, choose the note taker. Okay, so we want to, the question is based on the personality traits of the millennial learners, how we can align our teaching to ensure that learning happens. I want you to discuss, and each room, one person will respond. So choose the note taker who will be responding on behalf of the group. So since we have the same groups, you can choose different people in every session. So should we start? Does everyone know that they are in which group? Okay, not joined people on unassigned. No, why? Oh, because people have not received, they have not joined. These are the people, Ashwini.
Yes, ma'am.
Ashwini, you are in group 4. You are in room 4.
Yeah, ma'am, I told
Okay, you know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Dilipan. And many of these have not signed in, you know. Okay, let me see. Other people, please join and start working, and I'll find. Yeah, Dilipan, you're in room 6. Are you here, Dilipan? I'm sorry, I mispronounced.
Yeah, Dilipan Rajkumar, ma'am. Dilipan Rajkumar.
Rajkumar, you're in room 6, Rajkumar.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
It's already there. Yeah. Okay, Deepthi, I know I put her name down. Deepthi. Deepthi, you're in room 4.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I've seen that group now. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. This list was emailed to you. Pavan Kumar. I don't know if you have. Pavan, can you unmute? And if you're there, let me know which discipline. What is your?
I don't know, ma'am.
No, Pavan, what is your discipline? Which department you are in?
English, ma'am.
Oh,
English, ma'am.
So you are in room 1. You are in room 1. You are there already. I already have you there. Yeah. Rajesh Kumar. Rajesh, you are in room 3. Rajesh?
Yeah. Hello.
You are in room 3. Shireen, you are in room 1.
Ma'am, how do I go about it? Because I'm not attending the first.
Okay, you go. Sridhar, can you help? If you go on more, go to your click on more, and you have breakout rooms there. I'm sorry, it's going to take a little bit of time today. Doesn't matter. Let's get used to it, and we can take extra time today. Did you find it?
Hello.
If click on.
I'm not able to connect. Can you just tell me, because I've missed out on the 4th session.
Sorry. There's echo. Who's talking?
This is Sharon, ma'am.
Sharon, you're in room 1. Go on more and then go to breakout rooms.
Rajesh Kumar, room number 3.
Yes, ma'am. Got it.
Yeah.
Madam, this is nice.
And then Manisha, I remember putting her there. Manisha.
Yeah, ma'am.
You know where you're going, Manisha?
No, ma'am.
Just 1 minute. Did you accept the invitation?
Yeah, ma'am. I have already accepted.
Today or before?
Today.
So what department are you in?
Chemistry.
Chemistry. So please go to room 3.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Manisha. Okay, then LME Subbarao. Subbarao is, I remember giving Subbarao.
Madam, I'm Subbarao, madam.
Yeah, Subbarao, do you know where you're going?
I'm chemistry, madam. I'm chemistry stream.
Chemistry is room 3.
Yes, thank you, madam.
That group is getting
How
very...
to join room, ma'am?
Which one? Go on more. Go down, go on, click on more, and you have breakout room.
Okay.
Did you find it?
No.
Madam, that option is where it is available. I'm unable to see that option.
I also didn't get, ma'am.
Go click on more
Where it is
on your
available.
Zoom breakout room. I'm trying to show it on my screen.
But screen is not visible, ma'am.
More
PPT
is
is
not
visible. No.
More is not available on your thing.
No, ma'am.
Sridhar, what can you help her?
Should be there. More should be there.
More is available, ma'am, but there is no join group option.
No, breakout.
Should be
Go to
room.
breakout rooms.
Breakout room.
There is no
Click on breakout room. Click on breakout room, and you will find your room.
No, it is not available, ma'am. Not available.
Hello.
Yeah.
On which platform I should check this one?
Which one? Sorry, Sid, I didn't get the question.
The group, where I can find this group in which platform?
Here, sir. In Zoom only.
On Zoom, you can go to chat.
Chat on Zoom only.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
What is your name? I can give you.
Jogendra Kumar, ma'am.
Jogendra Kumar. Yes, I know. I gave Jogendra Kumar. I remember.
Not available.
Better it is show in the screen, madam. We are unable to see that option.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
sent to everybody by email also in the afternoon
Yeah.
today.
Okay, don't worry. We'll sort this out. Let it take a little bit of time. It doesn't matter. So Jogendra. Jogendra is Jogendra.
Okay.
Did you find it?
So you sent a Word file.
Jogendra, did you accept your invitation? You have not accepted your. If you do not accept your invitation, I don't know how to add you. So what is your subject? What subject do you teach?
Mathematics, ma'am.
Mathematics. So very easy. Just go to room 2.
But that is the question, from where I should go there?
Go to more. In Zoom, go to more.
Yes.
And then you go to breakout room.
Okay.
Click on it and go to room 2. Nageshwar Rao.
Yes, madam. I am unable to join. To create a room.
You know what room you're going to?
Yeah, now only I was seen through mail.
Nageshwar, you're in room 6.
I was in room 6. My name was there, not there.
Your name is here in the list.
Okay. In the graphics, it was there. Actually, it belongs to mechanics subject.
Are you from mechanical?
Yeah,
Yeah, because you may not have given me the.
Even I doesn't accepted the graphics design in Canvas because I am already joined in the mechanics.
Okay. Today you just go wherever you have to go 6 because it's a very general question.
Yeah.
Tomorrow
Okay.
I'll put you there.
Then how to do that one? Okay. Now it was came.
Go to more. Go to more and go to breakout rooms. Ravi Shukla.
Yes, good evening, ma'am.
You know which room you are going?
No, ma'am.
You did not accept the invitation. You have just accepted or you have not? What is your department, Ravi?
Physics.
Okay, then go to room 3. Okay, what about Pushpa Jadeja? You are in room 4. Okay, Monali, you know where you have to go? Monali? Monali, do you know where you have to go? Deepti Preet Kaur.
Deepti Preet Kaur, why is Deepti?
Yes, ma'am. This is
Yes, ma'am, this is Deepti.
Deepti, you know which
Deepti,
room
you know which room you are going to?
Deepti, do you know what room you are going to? What is your, no, that is Deepti Preet Kaur. Okay, Jyoti Padmaja.
Ma'am, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Jyoti. Do you know where you're going?
No, ma'am. In which
Did
room
you-
shall I have to join, ma'am?
You have not joined yet. What is your department?
Mechanical, ma'am.
Then you just go to room 4 right now.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, I think all our rooms are ready now. Good. It takes a little time. So because today is the first day and okay. Now can you, let me see, let me show you the question again. Based on the personality traits of the learners, millennial learners, how can we align our teaching to ensure that learning happens? And you have, yeah, let me see how much time we have taken. Yeah, let's take 5 to 6 minutes. Let's take 5 minutes. Decide who's going to be responding. One person from each room will give the response. Jadeja, why Pushprasing Singh, you need to go to room 4. Manisha, you're not in any room? Okay. Okay, I think we can close the rooms now. Another 30 seconds. Okay, everybody's back.
Yes, ma'am. We are back.
Wonderful,
Yes,
wonderful.
ma'am.
Okay, let's
We
let's
had
start.
an interesting session. Thank you so much.
Yeah, interesting
Okay.
session. This one is the good one. Yes.
Good. I hope you if you have to keep teaching online, you need to get them involved. You know, the people, your students. But of course, the batches are big. 60 is a big class. So okay, let's start room 1. Who's going to give the response quickly? Don't take
Yes,
too
ma'am.
long. We have all 6 rooms.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. I'll start with it. Dr. Sharon from Hindustan University. I'm a professor in English. So we had a wonderful group. We had a breakout room session, and most of them were teachers in English, except for 1 or 2. The rest of them had the same opinion about the millennials, and we were discussing about the millennials. Of course, we have been aligning our teaching to the present requirements and the more of the student-centric rather than teacher-centric, which we had been doing it earlier. So definitely we found that it is quite challenging for the teachers here because the students of this generation are much more adaptive towards the technology, and sometimes we have to learn from them too. This online situation, the pandemic has resulted in making us forcibly learn certain technology and things.
No, what? Sorry, I'm sorry
Yes.
to interrupt. Sorry to
Yes,
interrupt.
yes,
What
yes.
are the strategies? How do you align? So don't give the background. That's known. You know, I mean, everybody has only one minute to respond, right?
Okay, aligning teaching according to the requirements of the students and based on maybe problem-based learning. This is one thing which we can take it. That's what we have discussed, and mostly we are for student-centric teaching. That's what.
Yeah,
we have
again,
been
you know, one thing, sorry, we have to get out of the cliches. Students and again, it's not the title, it's what we'll do exactly. That's what I want to hear from the group. If you discussed, I mean, and say, okay, it's like saying, I'll do my best. I mean, it's okay, you'll do your best, but that's not, what exactly are you going to do? That's what I want to know. We have to get out of the cliches. This is one thing, this is general, no comment on you, but it's the general comment. This is our sort of cultural heritage. You know, we like to give very fancy global global terms. We need to come to nitty gritty, you know, let's say, okay, what will I do to make sure that my students learn?
Yeah, the learning will happen only if we are using our students to do more of practical, assignments and the teaching oriented towards practical experiential learning. That's what we have discussed.
Okay, so PBL and experiential learning. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. So
Thank
room 2.
Yeah, Ramananda here, Dr. Ramananda
Okay,
here.
Ramanand, hi.
Yeah, we discussed a lot about this one. Mainly, we have to learn the technology, how to teach. Mainly, ours is mathematics group. So, we said that we have to learn the new technology because students already equipped with the things. So, WhatsApp group should be used to effectively communicate with the students, as well as the Canvas, Moodle softwares. All these softwares to be and quizzes options to be used, and everybody should learn how to use in an effective way. That's what we discussed, sir.
Okay, thank you, Raman. Yeah, do you know, we'll talk a little bit about that later on, maybe tomorrow, next session, not tomorrow, on Wednesday. There is a lot of good material available for teaching maths, so which I don't think we are tapping on all that. So those are important things. Room 3.
May I, ma'am?
Yes, go ahead.
Here. Yeah, we all had a great brainstorming in our session, and we concluded that as more major teachers were from sciences, we concluded that it's upon the teacher, and the teacher has to be very proactive to understand that how to deal different topics. Certain topics are needed to be taught nicely, students will get better if it is chalk and board. Certain topics we need to show them in the form of videos or animations. Certain topics are more understood, or certain instrumentation is more understood if we take them for industrial visits. Depending upon the type of topic, we need to change our methodology so that students understand better.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, let's go to room 4.
Yes, ma'am. This is Ganesh from
hi,
Technology
Ganesh.
Institute. I'm from electrical group, and we are totally 5 members in the group. And we discussed the all topics, and from that we came to conclusion that students are using the social media. So why not we keep this social media? We'll use the same social media for the learning purpose. So there is one option, Telegram channel. In the Telegram channel, we can ask the polls, we can ask the quiz, and we can post the videos also from the YouTube link. And we can ask the questions, and we can ensure the learning, whether the students are learning that concept or not. Okay. Another one is the learn by doing activity. In that learn by doing activity, we can give the Google form quiz. Also, we can give the, you can say, laboratory work to them. Okay, and we can for a reflection type of quizzes, or for the reflection, we can give the external webinars or research paper to them, as we discussed in our group. We are believing that the reflection spot and learn by doing and the we can say the reflective activity, so this is going to be help according to the Felder's research theory. So there are 4 types of learner, everybody knows. Okay, so that if you implement that Felder research theory, which I am also using in my class, and that is very effective one.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, let's go to room 5.
Madam, this is Rakesh. I'm audible, ma'am?
Yes, Rakesh, very audible.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So, good or bad, the millennium student is just a click away from the distraction, ma'am. So, in order to keep his attention, as we know, student cannot able to concentrate for the more than 15 to 20 minutes. We need to introduce more active learning methods. At the same time, we need to effectively use the digital media. And we need to, the other thing is, at the same time, we need to tell the importance of the subject and give the real world applications. At the same time, give them good case studies. And in that way, we need to deal with these students.
Wonderful. Yeah, good. And so the group 6 now, the last room 6.
Hello, ma'am. This is Professor Sandeep Kulkarni. Am I audible?
Yes, Sandeep. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, thank you. So actually, since the millennial students like technology very much, so we should definitely use the technologies like polls, then dividing the students in different rooms, Google quizzes, so as to keep them engaged during the lecture. Then second thing is that we should prepare our Canvas classroom so that a detailed lesson plan should have been uploaded there, so that student can they can understand what will be taught on one special particular day, particular session. Third thing is that we should make very good use of blended learning, so that simple things can be learned at their places, and we will discuss the complex things and their difficulties during the classroom sessions. And in addition to that, we could also think of using the PBL, that is problem based learning. And one more thought is like we should provide them a interactive response platform. So because we have observed that, ma'am, these students are get hypered when they are not going to get the response from the teachers when they want. So we can provide them with interactive response platform, so that whenever they are going to study, if they are having any problem, they will post their query there, and depending upon the level of query, they will get some response for that query. So these were the thoughts that we discussed during our room discussion.
Very good. Congratulations, all the rooms. They came up with brilliant suggestions. We'll be talking more about it. You're in the right direction. Everybody's in the right direction, but we need to get to the concrete thing. You know, one thing I always, in all training programs, one thing I want you to take home today is to develop this habit of thinking in concrete terms rather than, you know, global broad areas. We just need to do, okay, actually item 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. What am I going to be doing? So, okay, so good, wonderful. I think this was very successful. Sorry, we lost a little time, but that's okay. We'll be better off. Now, just to close this now, I think these groups are fine, but if you are in the wrong group, first of all, please make everybody sign up on Canvas. This list is also on Canvas. I will readjust the list according to what you have given me today. And so we should not have to put the groups on chat again and again. So this is why today it's fine. Email me if you need any change. Okay, bye. So that part closes this. So let's go to the next. Okay, so now I think I need to. Okay, this is something my concrete suggestions. How can we ensure learning happens? Deliver content in small chunks, right? Not the 60-minute class has to be, or 50-minute class has to be divided. We'll talk about that in session 3. Make content relevant. Remember, need by Maslow. Why am I learning this? Where is it going to help me? So you can say this is a very important background information for what you'll be doing in the next year, in the second year course. Explain to them. Don't just leave it like that. Plan and implement group activities, like somebody said, pair, small group, large group, whatever activities. Design assessment as a tool for motivation. We have to talk about that in session 4. Provide positive and constructive feedback. Okay. I feel that, and I want to again and again emphasize, we do not compliment enough our students. We are always finding faults with them. Don't sit here, you're doing this, don't do that, we tend to do that with our children also, especially fathers. I think they think they see their role as a big discipliner, and they feel that if you give them compliments, they will get spoiled. No. Compliments are motivators. So make sure that every day you give them some encouragement, compliment, well done. Even if somebody has answered half the question well, first start by complimenting on, yes, you did well in this, but you did not do well. Okay. Partner with technology. Everybody said that. Yes. Social media. There are many other little techniques. This little outside the scope of this course, this workshop, but there are many ways. We'll try to incorporate as much as we can. Make yourself accessible. That is the emotional connect, and that's the big focus for next session. And even now, if we have time, we'll be, of course, talking. Now, the big challenge we have we have enough time. So for you as first year instructors, your first big challenge is transitioning from school to college. It's a difficult transition. It's old life, new life. They're used to certain pattern of instruction. They are used to certain way they behave in class. They are spoon-fed at the school level. But at university level, they are expected to do things themselves. So I want to know particularly from the people who have been 79% of the people who are regular first year instructors. Can you unmute and tell us what is your impression or perception about the first year students? We'll just keep 2 minutes for that. So whoever wants to comment on that.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm teaching to the first year from the
What's
last
your name?
17.
Please just always give your name.
Sorry.
No.
I'm myself Ganesh
Okay.
from KKWA. I'm teaching to the first year students from the last 17 years, almost 12 times I teach to the first year, and you can say 24 times in per semester. Okay, so what I found the difficulty in the first year students when they come from the 12th, and they come to the engineering, they didn't understand what is the difference between their science education and engineering education, and they are doing the assignments and are just for completion of work. They are not taking it as this something experiential learning. Okay, and yes, experiential learning. This is not taking. And one more thing which I found, they have many queries regarding the how to write down the write-ups, how to perform the experiments in the laboratory and anything, because they have conventionally in 11th 12th class they may watch the experiment just like a sitting aside and the staff is doing the experiment only. But when they start handling that equipment and everything, so they got confused in all the things. So that is my opinion, that students from the school background is much more you cannot say they are intuitive learner. They are not the sensing. They are not taking the actively participation at the first two, 3 lectures. So we have to open up them.
Very good. Ganesh, thank you. Those are very good. And I want somebody else also very experienced person in first year teaching, because first year student teaching is totally different to my mind than the other students.
Yes, ma'am. I have been teaching for almost 31 years now. I've been interacting with the first year students, especially in the engineering colleges. We find that as an English professor, I would like to say that most of the parents and the teachers concentrate on science subjects.
Yeah.
So when it comes to communication skills, there is a step back on this particular aspect. And they find that towards the end of the degree, when it is coming up to placement, that is the time they realize that it is importance of communication skills. So they are totally in the first year, they are not really into it, and they find it difficult even in presentations, because we notice that students are finding it difficult to speak even few words and few sentences, and that interest in learning in the language, the communication skills, it's quite lacking. When they come from school to college, there is a huge difference. Because most of the schools, they only cater to only their maths, physics, chemistry, and because they want to get into good engineering colleges, and marks is related to marks. It's not related to the development in the language skills. That's very important for their future. That realization still yet to dawn on them.
Yeah. Thank you so much. One more person, if you want to share something. Anyone else? Okay, so basically, we all agree that they do not have proper academic and emotional preparation. Emotional preparation is very important too. So they can be confused, they are unhappy. So now another thing I want to bring to the attention of the first year teachers is that when they come to the engineering college, they're all bubbly and they're very excited that they got into an engineering. You know, in India, that getting into a good engineering college itself is a very big achievement and a very big thing of joy. So, but why do we find students in second year, third year totally demotivated? There is data available that the students, when they get to, so first year teachers have to keep that fire burning. Very important. It's very important. So the special needs of the first year students, I've categorized in academic, emotional, and socio-economic. By the way, we just did a paper on this, and last international conference, the paper actually got the best paper award as well. So academic is managing a different learning environment, high expectations, poor study skills, poor linguistic skills. You know, that's a very, very major issue in demotivation. Emotional family pressures need to be recognized, okay? Socioeconomic peer acceptability, they come from different backgrounds and they want social acceptability. They have financial worries. Some of them have taken very high personal loans. So I just want to walk you through. This is the paper that we did, Sustaining Motivation of Engineering Students in India by Managing Their Academic and Affective Needs. Affective, get used to this term, affective, starting with A, not effective, but affective, related to emotions. And so these are some of the data I wanted to present. There are about 400 students in that study. So you have demographic profile. Students come from all different backgrounds, right? They're big cities, or 48, the people that we interviewed, small town, modern village, remote village, 4% people, students. Financial support for engineering, most of them, the parents are paying. Some people have 7% had personal loans, right? Academic background, they don't have any help from parents. So 38% of the students, both parents had school level education only. 34% both parents have graduate degrees and above. Only the father has graduate degree. And this is the key person I want to talk about. The 10%, I'm the first member of my family to study in university. These are called first generation learners. Okay, get the term. We talked about millennials, we talked about Generation Z, but this is called the first generation learners. They are the first people in their family to ever go to the university. Great pride, but they don't have any help. They do not have any. So compare this student to someone whose both parents are doctors. Compare the student to a high profile mother, executive, and father is a CEO somewhere. This can happen. These things can happen. And they're all in the same class. So we have to be very sensitive about the emotional stresses and the emotional needs of the people. I wanted to share this with you. Linguistic competency. We had this question. 73% of the students said that they came from private English schools, but we had 3 which are local village school, 3%. 3% in your 60 class of 60, you have about quite a few students who come from local village, 12% from government schools, 13% from vernacular medium school, and 73%. But what is very interesting, that even though we have a very large percent of people coming from private English medium schools, we have 53% of the students saying that my spoken English competency is just average. And 10% said not good. Only 36% said very good. Okay. So these are these issues. I'm sharing this data because this will help us to align our teaching to the first year students. Okay, so how can I give support to these people? I'm talking about these people. I'm talking about these people, right? How can I give? Along with the names, try and know the academic profile of your students. Okay, I'm going to share something, a trick with you, which will help you learn their names very fast. Make a list of students who might need additional support. Separate office hours. Office hour, by the way, I don't know if you have official office hours or not. Many colleges that I visited, they are always helpful. They say, I'm there for my students, but they don't have an official office hour. And we need to have official office hours. Additional privileges, like you can share your telephone number with these people who need the first generation. You're not giving your phone number to everyone, but to these people, make them feel special. Say, okay, I don't share my phone number, but you can do that to me all the time. Last semester, I had a student who was, you won't believe it, who was from the army, a young boy, 18-year-old boy from the army, lost both his legs, and terribly came back from his deployment in a very bad shape, and he's under treatment. And he was not in the hospital, he was now at home, but they'd converted a room for him, for his father was helping him, and there was some medical. But I had given him my phone number. I don't give any, but, and he felt very, very good. And I remember he says, I feel so privileged. I said, call me anytime. It doesn't matter. I don't do that with everyone, but if you need anything, you just let me know. So if you give that privilege to some people, and they'll feel very special, they need to feel very special. Accommodate the language competency. I don't know how, maybe you allow them to answer in their mother tongue. When I was in Paris, my son,
Hello,
hello, yes?
Dr. Kumar, we have to start the next session.
Okay, I'm just finishing. Okay, so that's it. I just want to do this quick introduction card. I'm going to put this introduction card in the Canvas. Ask the students to fill this out, okay? So we don't have any time for questions. So Sridhar, thanks for reminding. We're just in time. So thank you very much, and let's continue the conversation on Canvas. I have created the thread, your questions, comments. Please post your comments for today's session. Anything else you want me to cover, I will try and accommodate that in what I have planned. Okay, I can always change. I'm very flexible. I'm here to help you. Okay, and have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much. Thank you.